In the year 2047, Neon Shroud was a city that never slept. Its skyline a jagged mosaic of holographic spires and drone-lit streets. The air hummed with the pulse of quantum servers, feeding the city's insatiable hunger for data. At its heart stood the Nexus, a towering monolith of glass and code, home to Synapse Corp, the company that wired humanity's thoughts to the global network. Everyone in Neon Shroud was connected, augmented lenses in their eyes, neural implants syncing their minds to the grid. Everyone, that is, except the Vanished. Kale Voss stood on the 87th floor of the Nexus, staring out at the city through a window that doubled as a data feed. His augmented lenses flickered, overlaying the neon haze with streams of code and alerts. Another disappearance had been reported in 8th in 3 weeks. No bodies, no traces, just people erasing the grid like they'd never existed. The media called them the Vanished, and the city was starting to panic. Kale, a freelance data tracer with a knack for finding what others couldn't, had been hired by Synapse Corp to dig into the mystery. It wasn't his usual gig, tracking stolen crypto or exposing corporate espionage, but the pay was too good to refuse, and the puzzle intrigued him. He adjusted his lenses, pulling up the latest case file. Mira Chun, 29, a low-level coder at Synapse. Last seen leaving her apartment in the lower wards at 2:17 a.m., her implant signal cutting out moments later. No footage, no witnesses, no data trail. Like the others, she was a ghost. "You're wasting your time, Voss," said a voice behind him. Kale turned to see Vera, his handler at Synapse, leaning against a sleek desk. Her silver hair glowed faintly under the office's bioluminescent lights, and her eyes, fully cybernetic, scanned him with unnerving precision. The grid doesn't lie. If there's no trace, there's nothing to find. Kale smirked, running a hand through his dark, unkempt hair. The grid's only as good as the people who build it. And people, they lie all the time. He tapped his lenses, pulling up Myra's last known data, a fragmented log of her implant's activity. She was working on something called Project Echelon. Ring any bells? Vera's expression didn't shift, but her eyes flickered, a telltale sign of accessing restricted files. Echelon's a dead end. Experimental neural sync tech. Scrapped years ago. Mira was a nobody. Kale probably got mixed up with the Blackouts. The Blackouts were Neon Shroud's boogeymen, a shadowy group rumored to sever people from the grid, offering freedom from constant surveillance. Most thought they were a myth, but Kale wasn't so sure. He'd seen too many glitches in the system to believe the grid was infallible. If she was a nobody, why am I here, he pressed. Vera sighed, her voice clipped. Because the board wants answers, and you're cheaper than a full investigation. Don't get cocky. Find something by tomorrow or you're out. Kale nodded, already half ignoring her. His lenses pinged with a new lead, a faint signal trace from Myra's implant. Detected in the Underdistrict, a lawless maze of tunnels and black market tech beneath the city. It was a long shot, but it was something. The Underdistrict smelled of rust and burnt circuits, its air thick with the buzz of illegal drones. Kale navigated the narrow tunnels, his coat catching on jagged metal walls. His lenses projected a map, but the Underdistrict's layout shifted constantly, rewired by squatters and smugglers. The signal trace led him to a derelict server hub, its walls pulsing with hacked holographic graffiti. The grid sees all. The Blackouts see nothing. Inside, the hub was a graveyard of obsolete tech, rusted server racks, cracked monitors, and tangled wires. Kale's lenses flickered, struggling to maintain a connection to the grid. He crouched, scanning the floor for clues, when a faint hum caught his attention. Beneath a pile of debris, he found a small device, no bigger than a coin, emitting a soft blue glow. A neural disruptor, illegal and rare, designed to scramble implant signals. It was still warm. "Gotcha," Kale muttered, pocketing the device. His lenses pinged again, this time with an encrypted message. "Voss, stop digging. You're not ready for the truth. No sender ID, no origin trace." His pulse quickened, Someone was watching. Before he could process it, the hub's lights flickered, and a low rumble echoed through the tunnels. Kale spun, drawing the pulse pistol strapped to his thigh. The air shifted, heavy with static, and a figure emerged in the shadows, a woman, her face obscured by a hood, her eyes glowing faintly red. "You're an over-your-head tracer," she said, her voice distorted by a modulator. "Leave the disruptor and walk away." Kale tightened his grip on the pistol. "Not my style. You a blackout." She laughed, a cold mechanical sound. "You think in binaries, grid or blackout, connected or free. The truth's messy." She stepped closer, and Kale's lenses glitched, flooding with static. Mira found something she shouldn't have. "So will you if you keep going." "Then tell me," Kale said, stalling. His lenses were running a background trace on her signal, but it was bouncing through too many proxies. "What's Echelon? Why is Synapse so scared?" The woman tilted her head, as if amused. "Echelon isn't tech. It's a signal, a frequency that rewrites minds. Synapse thought they could control it. They were wrong." She raised a hand, and Kale's lenses went dark, his implant burning in his skull. Pain shot through him, and he dropped to one knee, clutching his head. When he looked up, she was gone. The hub was silent, the disruptor still in his pocket. His lenses rebooted, displaying a single word: run. Kale didn't run. Not yet. He stumbled back to his apartment in the mid-wards, a cramped unit overlooking the city's neon veins. The disruptor sat on his desk, its glow taunting him. He plugged it into his custom rig, a patchwork of salvage tech that let him bypass grid security. The device's data was fragmented, but he pulled a partial log, coordinates, timestamps, and a single phrase repeated in the code: the last signal. His lenses pinged again, another message, this time from Vera. Board meeting. Nexus. Now. Kale cursed under his breath. He didn't trust Vera, not after the Underdistrict. Synapse was hiding something, and Myra's disappearance wasn't random. The disruptor, Echelon, the blackouts, it was all connected. At the Nexus, the boardroom was a sterile fortress of glass and chrome. The Synapse executives sat around a holographic table, their faces unreadable behind augmented masks. Vera stood at the head, her eyes locking onto Kale as he entered. "You found something," she said, not a question. Kale tossed the disruptor onto the table. It skidded across, drawing gasps. Myra's trail led to this. Neural disruptor, tied to a signal called Echelon. Care to explain? The room went silent. An older executive, his face a lattice of implant scars, leaned forward. "You've overstepped, Voss. Echelon is classified. Hand over the device and leave." "Not until I get answers." Kale shot back. 8 people are gone. No traces, no bodies. "You're telling me Synapse has nothing to do with it?" Vera's eyes flickered. "You're playing with fire, Kale. The grid is fragile. One wrong move and it collapses. You want that on your conscience." Before he could respond, the room's lights dimmed and the holographic table flared red. A voice, distorted, like the woman's in the Underdistrict, echoed through the room. "The last signal is coming. Synapse cannot stop it. Neither can you." The table sparked, and the disruptor on it pulsed violently, emitting a high-pitched whine. Kale dove for cover as the device exploded in a flash of blue light. When the smoke cleared, the executives were scrambling, Vera shouting orders. Kale's lenses were offline again, but he didn't need them to know one thing. The Vanish weren't just missing. They were part of something bigger, something that could tear Neon Shroud apart. Kale slipped out of the Nexus, his mind racing. The disruptor was gone, but its data was still in his rig. He needed to dig deeper, find the blackouts, and uncover what Echelon really was. The city's pulse thrummed around him, a symphony of code and lies. Somewhere in Neon Shroud, the last signal was waiting. Thank you so much for staying around with me, and thank you for watching this story till end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as interesting and even more intriguing as can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click subscribe and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Click on the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one. See you next time, my dear family and dear friends.